Hi, I'm Jen.
And I'm Ben.
Today we're going to talk about something called experimental design. When scientists have a question they want to answer or a problem they want to solve, they design a series of experiments to help answer that question. So Ben, what's something you've always been curious about?
What makes the highest soda geyser?
That's a great question. So when we're designing an experiment, we have to put together variables. Variables are all the things that we can change in the experiment as we start to test it. So what are some things that we could test to determine what makes the highest soda geyser explosion?
The temperature and the type of candy you put in and the type of soda.
Those are great examples. Right, we could test the temperature of the soda, the type of candy, or the type of soda that we want to experiment with. All right, well, we have different kinds of variables, right? We talked about what variables are, but there are two different types, independent and dependent variables. Do you know what the difference are between those?
Well, an independent variable is a variable that you can change. A dependent variable is a variable that depends on the independent variable. In this case, it would be the height of the soda geyser.
That's exactly right. Okay, so let's say I designed an experiment where I took Diet 7-Up and it was at room temperature and I used Skittles as the candy, and then I compare that to Diet Pepsi where I use Mentos and the Diet Pepsi's been kept in the refrigerator. And finally, I take Diet Root Beer and I put Nerds in it, and it's really hot because I kept it in the car all day. Do you think that would be a good experimental design?
No, because there are multiple independent variables, and a proper experiment would only have one independent variable.
That's absolutely right, Ben. In any good experiment, we should only have one independent variable. We have another type of variable that we haven't talked about yet, and those are controlled variables. Do you know what a controlled variable is?
I think a control variable is the thing that stays the same in each experiment.
Right, so those are all the things that we're going to keep constant in our experiment. So for instance, if we wanted to compare different types of sodas to see which one gave us the highest soda geyser explosion, then we would keep the temperature of the soda, the volume of the soda, the type of candy that we're putting in it, and the number of candies all the same. That way, when we compare Diet Sprite versus Diet Coke versus Diet Root Beer, we really know which one of those gave us the highest explosion. For our experiment today, we have a very special guest. Please welcome President Gordon Gee. All right, in our first experiment, our independent variable is the type of soda we're using. Our controlled variables are the number and type of candy, Mentos, and the temperature of our pops, as well as the volume of the soda. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go ahead. Pull.
Holy smokes! Wow!
Number 2. You want to do it?
Number 3.
Whoa!
Well.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it already fell. Okay.
Okay.
That one, 3, 2, 1. Now it's not doing it.
Okay.
There it goes. There it goes.
Whoa, that one's hot.
Well, those were 2 failed tests. Let's check the next one. Oh my goodness!
And which one was that?
So that was the Mentos.
Yeah, Mentos was right.
So your hypothesis
won.
was right. So
I won.
yeah, we had failed tests on our nerves.
No, we didn't.
And well, yes, it was. It worked a bit. You're right. It
Yeah,
did.
no,
Just
I
not
think-
as well. And our third and last experiment, we're going to be comparing the temperature of the soda. So our independent variable is soda temperature. We have cold, medium, and hot soda. Our controlled variables are the type of soda, the type of candy, we're using Mentos, and the number of Mentos in each tube. Are you ready?
Mhm.
All right, get started. So that was the cold soda. Let's try the medium temperatured soda. Whoa! And lastly, the hot soda. Careful. Whoa! So remember, for any good science experiment, you have to record your results. So Ben, have you been recording our results?
Yeah.
Okay, so for experiment 1, remember we looked at the type of soda, right? And so what was your hypothesis on that one?
Our hypothesis was root beer.
You thought root beer would be the highest? What one was the highest?
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke, okay. In experiment 2, we were comparing the types of candy. So what was your hypothesis on that one?
I thought that the Mentos were going to work.
And what was our results?
The Mentos did work.
Yay! And lastly, we were experimenting the temperature of the soda. So what did you think would be the highest?
I thought the cold originally, but after the thing went off, it wasn't the cold. But that's okay, because scientists aren't always get it right.
That's right. It's okay to have a hypothesis that's proved wrong. That's part of science. So the results on that one was what? Which one do you think was highest, the medium or the hot?
It was a close call, but actually I think the hotter one was higher.
Okay, very good. All right, so now that we've completed the experiment, let's talk a little bit about the science of why soda geysers happen. So soda has dissolved carbon dioxide in it. That's what gives it the bubbles. You may have noticed when you put a straw in a glass of soda that the bubbles form on the outside. That's called nucleation. And the sites that the bubbles form on the outside of the straw are called nucleation sites. Well, Mentos candy are full of little pits and divots, perfect spots for nucleation sites. So as we drop the Mentos into the soda, many bubbles form on the outside, and they have nowhere to go but up. And that gives us our soda geyser explosion. Thanks for joining us today for our experiment. We hope you learned something, and more importantly, we hope you had fun doing it.